Hi, I'm Dave Siltz, and I'm going to do one of these interview thingies like I saw on YouTube that CSI used to do. I think just about anybody that really plays pool and really loves pool, especially when they're older like me, you're going to say Efren Reyes. What player do I admire? If I have to pick one, it's going to be Efren. There are many, many other players that I admire, but yeah, I mean, Efren's the answer. Favorite game? My favorite game was bank pool. Anybody that's probably watched this YouTube probably guessed that. I'm not sure it's my best game these days. I think my best game might be one pocket, although I suck at one pocket. So it's hard to tell. I'm just very, very streaky when I play bank pool, but it is my favorite. Yeah, it's my favorite game to play easily. That's to play it, okay? To watch it, one pocket would be my favorite game to watch. My least favorite game to play, probably straight pool, just because I never play it. I used to play it fairly well, and if I play it again now, that I'm just reminded of how far my game has dropped. I would say to watch, my least favorite game, it's between straight pool and like 9-ball. I've often said if you could have two top pros come down here and play for $1 million in my basement at 9-ball, I probably wouldn't come down here and watch it. Just would just be boring to me. I like honesty, integrity in all people, not just in a player. I like respect for the game, respect for the opponent. If you're playing a match, watch the match if you're not shooting. Don't be off bullshitting with somebody else or whatever. Just show some respect. A lot of the same things that I dislike about people in general. Dishonesty. I have a big problem with that. Specific to like a pool player, I don't like when people act like they're getting away with something, or they either think they're getting away with something, or they're trying to make you think they're getting away with something. The people are up there dicking with the racks and all whatever in the hell they're doing. I get the impression a lot of times that they think, oh, they know more, they know how to do this, and it just feels a little bit dishonest to me. That just shoot the damn balls, just play the damn game, and don't do any of that other bullshit. Concentration, or the lack of concentration. If I'm concentrating well, I can play pretty well. If I'm not concentrating, I may as well stay home. And unfortunately, more often than not, I have concentration issues. I get distracted very easily, and that's my biggest weakness. It's probably that I can't remember the last time I kind of mentally gave up on a game or a match. Even when I'm just severely outclassed and I can tell right away, I do my damnedest and try as hard as I can, the old 100% deal. And if I lose, I hope that I've learned something. I try to keep that attitude, and that's one of the things that keeps me in it as well. This is not a winning opportunity, but it is a learning opportunity. I really try to keep that attitude, and I do think my attitude is pretty good for the most part. It's gotten better over the years. Right now, I think it's probably my biggest strength as a pool player. I'm not a big regret guy, okay? I'm just not, and I'm not saying that there's anything special or wonderful about me that I don't have a lot of regrets. Obviously I would regret missing that 6-ball, or missing this other shot, or not seeing a potential issue, whatever. I regret those little things, but like a bigger regret, I just really don't have them. If you're going to hold a gun to my head and make me pick one, I kind of wish back when I first started playing pool that I had maybe looked a little bit more into the possibility of becoming a professional. whatever that meant, and whatever that means even nowadays. But there's a slight chance that had I continued to improve at the rate I was doing it back in the 80s, that possibly I could have been good enough to make a living at pool. Maybe not, but I didn't even really try. I just assumed that because I was not going to be out there gambling and hustling people, I just assumed that there's no way I was going to make enough money, to be able to live on. Like I said, it could have been right, but if I had to pick a regret, that would just probably be it. So, back, hell, a long time ago, I was playing in a tournament, and it was a race to 7, 9-ball, and I won the flip and broke and ran the set. And most of the people there didn't know me and thought it was a fluke. I don't know how you fluke breaking and running 7 racks, but that's what the general hubbub in the area was behind me was, oh, that guy got lucky. Yeah, I lucked in doing that. Anyway, didn't let any of that bother me. I certainly heard them, and the next round that I played, I won the lag, and I broke and ran the set again. So that shut them up, and that was a pretty big achievement to me to walk into a place where I didn't really know anybody. I knew a couple people, and not let their talk, bug me. Because certainly some of those people were saying that shit, knowing damn well I was going to hear them, and they were hoping it was going to bother me, and it didn't at all. So that was cool. I'm not sure I understand the question. If the question is kind of one of those, if I could switch places with any player, I wouldn't switch places with anybody. I'm me. I want to, remain to be me. I wouldn't want to switch, like I said, with anybody. A, I don't know. And then B, they would have to be me, I'm assuming. And nobody wants to do that, so I would just stay me. Now, if the question is, which player, if situations were different, which player would I be like? And it's a wide open question. But let's say, if situations were different and I had a lot more talent than I have, but otherwise it was kind of the same person, I think I would be very much like Scott Frost, in that Scott tends to wear his emotions on his sleeve, I believe. I mean, if he gets a bad roll, he lets the entire room know about it. If he feels like a table's not level, he lets the whole room know about it. I think I would be the same way. I'm not a fan at all of what I consider to be bad luck. Even though they say it always evens out, and yeah, I'm not convinced it always evens out. So I think I would probably be a lot like Scott if I had, the talent to come even close to matching his level of talent, which I don't. I'm not saying I do. Along the same vein would be someone like Larry Neville. Larry also just an unbelievable talent, but would tend to let things get to him instead of just gritting his teeth and mowing through. And I think I would be exactly the same way. So some of the things that Larry's had to do and put up with the last few years, he's shown an incredible strength that I would not have been able to match. But in the old days, 5-10 years ago, had I had talent, yeah, I could have been a lot like Larry too. Yeah, I guess that's it. That's the 10 questions that CSI used to ask various top players in their little interview doohickeys. And so now I have been asked those 10 questions. Later.